Step right up, dummies, and listen to the stupidest sports show on earth with Rodney Newpol and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah.
Well, hello, dummies, and welcome to episode number 148 of the stupidest sports show on earth. My name, as you all know, is Tim Booger Van Stratton, not to be confused with Tim Boog Van Stratton. I'm joined by Rodney Newpol, who he's got the con jersey back behind him. He's fired up. He's ready to go. We're ready to go. We've been off for a week. Welcome back. How are you?
Yo, what's up, man? It's good to be back. Missed you over the week, and here we are. Episode 148. We're closing in on that 150. Talking to somebody I just met today, and I told them, I'm like, well, I got a podcast tonight. Oh, you do a podcast? They're like, that's so cool. And I was like, well, actually, yeah, we were almost 150 episodes in. Oh my gosh, they were so amazed. So we're celebrities, apparently.
That's I feel like everyone has a podcast. Yeah. But like not everyone has the stupidest podcast.
Yeah.
Did you tell her what the name of the show was? Or
I was like, well, like we don't really take it all that serious. It's literally called the Stupidest Sports Show. And sometimes if we have to, like 90 minutes before the show, we just say, we can't have a show tonight. So, it is what it is. But, it was interesting to see their response. They were blown away.
Well, I'm glad that we could be heroes for someone.
Yeah.
It means a lot. It's like the people at Morton High School who dressed up like us at a basketball game.
That is correct. We still never had them on either. I should still have them on it.
Never got the answers that I was looking for to why. Just why did you make that choice?
Yeah, we might have missed the boat on that one. But anyways, It is nice to be back. I do have Con here. The room that I was in for a while is pretty warm in the summer. Mm-hmm. It's not air conditioned, and that part of the house isn't because it's a sunroom, it's a side room, whatever. But so I came back to my normal office. Hopefully the internet connection is good tonight.
Fingers crossed. Well, let's start off the show here. We got a lot to get to. First of all, 104 days to the NFL. Just wanted to throw that out there. Rodney, on Tuesday, I'm bad at math. That'd be 100 days? That'd be 99 days?
Well,
Friday. That'll be 100 days. 100 days
99.
Exactly.
No, 99.
What?
Friday's going to be 103. 99. Saturday's 102.
Sunday's
101. Monday's 100. Tuesday's 99.
It's not my specialty. I'm gifted in other ways, like talk. Another thing before we get rolling, we're going to start with the NBA here. The Thunder and the Spurs are in the midst of a battle for Game 6 of that series. But Rodney, as always, we want to thank our friends over at Gateway Sports for all of their support for our program, letting us do what we do stupidly, more stupidly than anyone else out there. So why don't you tell the people about Gateway Sports?
Yeah, if you love sports at every level, there's only one place you need to be. That is Gateway Sports. It's covered all from the preps, college, and the pros. Real coverage, real voices, real passion for the game. From live sports to podcasts, Gateway Sports connects a region like nobody else. Proudly powered by First Form and Recalibrate. Visit gatewaysports.net. Every level, one gateway. Thank you, Gateway Sports. And the photo there, and the guys at Gateway Sports are working hard quietly. I'm sure they're up to something these days. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I hear a lot from them. Sometimes I don't hear much from them. I think they're working quietly over the summer to have some big plans coming for the National Football League. That's the crazy part. You and I have both kind of been in the sports content, sport whatever business over the years, and this is when everybody rubs their hands together and think, what are we going to do when football gets here?
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to do when football gets here? June and July, man. June and July. And then August gets here, and you better be ready for football.
So here's the thing. It's like normally, Yeah, it's like I used to have that mindset of like, summer, there's nothing going on. But listen, man, we got a World Cup in just a few weeks. That even if you're not a huge soccer person, like the World Cup is always a special event, and it's here. It's in our nation. It's in our continent, which is going to be fun. You have a couple golf majors thrown in there. You're going to have, obviously baseball and stuff, but just I don't know. Like I feel like summer sports are being overlooked a bit, and I won't stand for it anymore. Let's enjoy the summer that we have before we get to football. Even though we did lead off the show by counting down the days.
The World Cup 2 weeks I think away. I honestly don't know much about the World Cup. I do find myself watching, when US is playing. Don't know a lot about the World Cup. I just don't. But I'm not anti-World Cup.
This is a stupid question, but so your family origin, like the Nupel name, is that German? What is that?
It is German, yes.
So you obviously have German heritage then. Do you feel at all like a pull for like Germany when you watch the World Cup, or like do you not care?
Absolutely not at all. Not one bit of me has ever considered the fact that I have anything to do with Germany.
Yeah, because for me, whenever I watch the World Cup, probably for the last 16 years or so, I've always pulled for the Netherlands. Like I'm big supporter of the Netherlands national team. Van Straten. Spoiler alert, it's a Dutch name. I got a lot of family in the Netherlands. So that's and like the American team, God love them, but they're not good. Not a good team. So I usually that's my squad for the World Cup as always. And they are maybe the best nation ever to not have won a World Cup before.
Right.
They've had a lot of good appearances. They were in the championship in 2010, lost to Spain, but so that's my team. So yeah, we'll sprinkle in some World Cup updates, and I'm sure you'll be betting on them. Like even if you're not super hyped, I know you're going to be betting on World Cup games because why not? Why not? Right?
Yeah, it'd be something to bet on. I mean, won't they be playing at like 9 a.m? And maybe not in the U.S., but 11,
I was looking today. Yeah, so like Hawaii time, a lot of the games for group play start at 3 a.m., which is like 8 a.m. Central, and then you have 9 a.m. games that are 2 p.m. Central. So yeah, it's going to be very normal times for you because all the games are going to be like here. They're not in Qatar or South Korea or like some other country where it's like the time zone's all whacked and they got to show games on tape delay and whatever. So yeah, it's going to be very convenient times for us. It's the rest of the world that has to accommodate now for the World Cup for a change. All right, enough of this. Let's get to the Knicks. I wanted to talk about them on Tuesday. Obviously, we didn't have a show, so we're going to talk about them today. Rodney, I have a couple good Knicks stats for you.
Let's hear them.
They're both related to point differential, but I want to get your thoughts here. So over the last 11, I think it was 10 games before game 6, or before game 4, where they had a plus 225 point differential. So this was from game 4 in Atlanta through game 3 against Cleveland.
Yes.
Where they had a plus 225 differential. It was the largest in NBA history, regular season or playoffs, over any 10-game span. And then you add on, what did they win game 4 by? Like they won that one by almost 30. That was a blowout as well. So their last 11 games, the New York Knicks have had basically, by the numbers, the best 11-game stretch of any team in the history of professional basketball.
Okay. That's pretty good.
It's not bad. Here's another one, though, that just caught my eye that I wanted to throw your way. The Knicks, through their first 14 playoff games, because they've played 14 games, they have a point differential of plus 271. Not only is that the best point differential ever of any playoff team through 14 games, but all 7 teams that are directly behind them won the NBA championship that year.
All right.
So the previous record was the 2017 Warriors. That was Kevin Durant's first year in Golden State. They had a plus 237 differential. Then you have the 1987 Lakers, the 71 Bucks, the 96 Bulls, the 86 Celtics, like powerhouse teams. And what's funny, it's the 2016 Cavaliers were also on there. The 2016 Cavaliers, who, despite getting down 3-1 in the finals, ended up coming back and winning. So the Knicks, does this at all change the perception here that the Knicks might not be the heavy underdogs that I think people are going to assume that they're going to be, regardless of whether they play San Antonio or OKC? Because I can tell you right now, if San Antonio gets to the finals, I think I'm picking the Knicks to win.
Yeah, I mean, so they're going to be underdogs, I think, regardless. I think San Antonio would be favored. I think I know the Thunder would be favored. But yeah, I don't think I think it'll be shorter odds than yes, most people will think. And the Knicks have a legitimate shot at winning the NBA Finals. They really do. And I mean, maybe that sounds easy, maybe it sounds simple, but with 11 straight wins, like there's no doubt they have. I mean, what are their weaknesses? Like, they seem to be deep. They hit shots. They have good guard play. They can score inside. Yeah. Like I don't know, man. I think they have a great shot.
Does the Mitchell Robinson broken pinky news today change the math at all? Like, he's got to play, right? Like, he's got to play. It's not like he needs to take jump shots. I mean, the only problem is if I'm OKC or San Antonio, whenever Mitchell Robinson's out there, I'm fouling and putting him on the line. Yeah. So, but like besides that, like I think he could still go out there and pull down rebounds or block shots, even if he has a broken pinky. Like, you got to play, man. You got to play with it.
Lay the ball in the basket if he has the opportunity. But yeah. I don't look at it as a huge series changer. I think he will play and he'll find a way to be effective. And I guess I'm a little concerned because the Spurs obviously are using Wemby to beat the Thunder, and I don't know as if the Knicks necessarily have. I mean, obviously the Knicks don't have a Wemby, but can they score enough inside? Because
here's the thing, because Karl Anthony Towns, because he's not a traditional center who can play a little bit outside, that is going to bring Wemby outside and sort of remove him from the paint, because otherwise it's going to be Cat uncontested. Like, that's such an advantage that the Knicks have. That is a specific advantage that they have against the Spurs too. Because like OKC can rotate and like everyone can play everywhere on OKC. OKC is going to be a tougher matchup and would be the favorite against the Knicks. But like San Antonio specifically, Cat's going to require Wemby to step away from the paint a little bit. And suddenly you have a rim now that doesn't look so daunting for a guy like Jalen Brunson, a small guy who's going to be trying to drive a lot to the hoop. Yeah, no, that's for sure. That's for sure. I guess I just worry if the Knicks or if the Thunder and the Knicks are playing, if the Knicks can get enough inside. And I know you made a good point there. I think that would be my major, because guard play, Brunson's going to step up. He's going to get his, and obviously him and SGA are going to be a good battle. But I don't know, because the Spurs have done so much damage with Wemby that I don't know. That's where I'm concerned with the Knicks. Do we need to think about, like, is there, like, I'm trying to figure out the words for this. Like, a huge difference this year with the Knicks is their rotation just hasn't been run into the ground the same way that Tom Thibodeau used to do it. Like, Mike Brown, I think deserves a lot of credit here, but just like thinking about the finals, like, I feel like this is probably a time to run your starters into the ground a little bit. Like, Jalen Brunson probably needs to be on the court like 46 of your 48 minutes. Like, at this point, that's what it feels like. And especially if Mitchell Robinson is going to be sort of limited availability or outright out, like, that's going to be a lot of Karl Anthony Towns. And then suddenly OG Anunoby's going to have to play a lot at the 4. Like, that is going to really require you to just like go all out with your starters. I mean, it's the finals. They're going to be plenty rested. Their last game was what, Tuesday? Yeah. And the finals don't start until sometime next week. So they're going to be very rested by the time this series actually starts.
Yeah, I mean, and they could be. I think the schedule's. Yeah, so even if if San Antonio does win tonight, you're going Game 7, which is on Saturday. Yeah, they're going to get a ton of opportunity to rest, and
Finals are a week from yesterday, so next Wednesday, June 3rd is game one. So that'll be like a 9-day break for the Knicks.
That is crazy. That is crazy to me. It's a great rest. Now, obviously you hope you don't get rusty, but they'll get some good practices in. And I mean, when they get back to the Garden Game 3, it's going to be all wild and crazy. I am looking forward to seeing the Garden for finals. Like, you're paying 5 digits to sit in the Garden to see that series.
So real quick update on the ongoing Thunder Spurs game. So San Antonio on a 13-0 run in the last 3.5 minutes or so, now up 85-64 late in the third. So Spurs are just really starting to pull away. They're outscoring OKC 25-11 this quarter. That's what's crazy to me too. Like a young team in San Antonio being able to hold leads in halftime and put their foot on the gas and not let a championship squad like OKC creep their way back into a game. Like, that is so impressive. Like, this Spurs team is just so mature for considering how young they all are.
Yeah, and a young coach, a young inexperienced coach too, really. I don't think he's had a lot of he didn't I don't remember his background, but I don't think he's had a ton of experience, right?
No, I'm assuming he's just been an assistant under Pop for a while. Yeah. I don't know how long he was one.
Yeah. But no, it's been good. So it looks like we're gonna get a Game 7, and that'll be fun Saturday. Oklahoma, I talked about the Garden be all jacked up. It was interesting today. Tyrese Halliburton. Now, I think he may have been trolling a little bit, but Tyrese Halliburton mentioned on I think it was Pat McAfee, that he thought Oklahoma City had the best home court crowd, not Madison Square Garden. I think he was trolling. I think he was trolling New Yorkers.
It's possible, but you know what? Like, the Garden's going to be rocking, but when I think about the Knicks, I'm not thinking about the Garden itself because the tickets are going to be so expensive. It's going to be tens of thousands of dollars to get in that arena. I feel like the Knicks fans are the ones that are outside the arena in the event that they win. Like, those are the ones that I associate with just the crazy fandom. But OKC, all the fans are in the building. So I kind of understand what he's saying. Now, it could just be trolling, but if he wasn't, I do see a valid point that he was making.
Yeah, you're right. The real Knicks fans are on top of the light poles on Times Square.
So this might be controversial here. Maybe not. But America should be rooting for the Knicks regardless of who they face in the finals, right? I think we need to see we need to see what Knicks fans do to New York City in the event of a championship here.
The problem,
I think I'm good with it.
The problem is Boston, Philly, Chicago, probably maybe even LA, are probably no, we don't want New York to win.
Well,
right?
LA absolutely. I can tell you this. I have a deep dislike for the Spurs that was just starting to finally go away because they've been sort of gone. But the Spurs, obviously, they had a long run in the West, and they basically, if it wasn't for the Spurs, who knows how many titles the Lakers would have in the 2000s. Yeah. So the Spurs definitely are a team that I just have a natural disdain for. The Thunder, it's unethical hoops. So I'm rooting for the Knicks for sure. Now, you make a good point with Boston and Philly. I don't think Philly fans are going to be super pumped to see New York win a championship when they can't even get past the second round. So I understand it there. So unless you are a very deep rival of the Knicks specifically, I think you should be rooting for them in the finals over OKC or San Antonio, especially OKC. Because let's be honest here, it's unethical and it's wrong.
Yeah, I'll be cheering for the Knicks, and I don't know if it's because they haven't won one. I don't have a hatred for the Knicks. I mean, part of that is I don't necessarily have a number one NBA team. I've just kind of always followed the NBA and never really had, I guess. Now I've got Charlotte, but if I was a true Chicago Bulls fan, I probably would be cheering for Oklahoma City because like Bulls Knicks hated each other, right? Like that rivalry, the Ewing years, like nobody liked the Knicks. So it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to Wednesday's game 1. It'd be more fun if it was the Spurs. I'll be honest.
As much as I had a disdain for the Spurs, I'm definitely rooting for them to beat OKC. I want to see Wemby in the finals, and I want to see Spurs Knicks. Like that would be so much fun. And I feel like that's a series where it's like, I think you're really going to have people conflicted as to who wins that series. And like, that's fun. Yeah. Like, I don't want OKC to come in there and then win this series in 5 games. Like I don't want that. All right. Did you see the other NBA news today?
Well, you mentioned it in our group chat a little bit. I did not get a close look at it. Maybe explain it to me and the listeners, and we can discuss.
Yeah, so the Board of Governors, which I'm pretty sure is just code for all the owners, officially passed a new lottery system that will go into effect next season. So this is a 3-2-1 system is what they're calling it, designed to eliminate incentives for teams to prioritize their position in the draft over winning games. Basically, it's their anti-tanking measure. So what this will now do is that if you are one of the bottom 3 teams in the NBA, you have a worse chance to win the lottery than the teams that are 4th through 10th. So okay. I don't know. I don't remember who the worst teams were this year. Was it like Indiana and Brooklyn or whoever? So so under the current system, those 3 teams all have a 14% chance. The new system, they'd only have a 5.4% chance of getting the number 1 overall pick. Then the teams that are 4 through 10 would all be at 8.1. Then the 4 teams that end up getting eliminated from the play-in tournament, so the 9 seed and the 10 seeds, also have a 5.4% chance. So if you are a 9 seed, so if you're a team that loses in the play-in tournament, you have the same odds of winning the lottery as the team that had the worst record in the NBA. And then they also expanded the lottery to 16 teams. So now instead of 14 teams, it'll be 16 teams where the final 2 teams have a 2.7% chance to win. So I have many thoughts. So beyond that, I should mention that teams cannot pick number 1 overall in consecutive years. Also, no team can have a top 5 pick in 3 consecutive years. So that's sort of the overall like big outlook for it. But I gotta say, man, I really, truly, and I'm not trying to overreact here. I hate it. I think this sucks. Yeah. And I don't know why the NBA cares so much about teams that are tanking or not tanking. Like, there's no other sport that has these significant measures in place that basically, like, if you are the worst team, we are giving you a worse chance to improve your team.
Yeah.
No one does that. And like
no one does.
I don't know why it's such a big deal in the NBA when like bad teams can still mess up their picks, even if they're given number 1 pick. Like, I fail to see, number 1, how this truly will get rid of tanking. It just makes everything more random. And B, like, the teams that are honestly, truthfully bad, how they are going to end up improving their teams. Because, like, and I'll say this real quick before I get your thoughts. Oklahoma City, San Antonio, Detroit, those were 3 of the top 4 teams in the league this year. And those teams absolutely needed to tank and to get high picks in order to build a contender. Right. Like, they all, like, OKC had like high picks. San Antonio, obviously, they missed the playoffs 7 straight years. They got Wemby, they got Harper. Like, Detroit was bad for so many years. They got Cunningham, like they got Thompson. They needed those picks to improve and to break out of their long stretches of losing. And this new system is going to make it even harder for those teams to do that. When you have a situation where a team that wins 19 games is going to miss out on a number one pick because they're going to give it to a team that won 45 games that got bounced in the play-in round. Like that doesn't sit right with me. So I really
I don't like it either. Why are we changing it? Anti-tanking, but like, what? I just don't understand why we have to change that. Like, okay, maybe fix it a little bit, but like this seems pretty drastic. No,
it seems incredibly drastic and so unnecessary, and it's the thing that really just like made me laugh here. So there was a rule. So okay, let me go back. 29 of the 30 teams approved these rule changes. The only team that said no was the Grizzlies. And I was like, that's random. So the Grizzlies voted against this rule. And this is like Bobby Marks reporting and Shams reporting here. Because part of this new lottery change prevents a team from picking top 5 for 3 consecutive years. The Grizzlies are going to own the Utah Jazz's first-round pick in the Jaren Jackson trade.
Okay.
I'm sure when the Grizzlies made this trade, they were like, hey, we really like this deal. Part of the reasoning is not just the amount of picks, but the fact that like we're getting these picks from the Jazz, who are like a rebuilding team, and it could potentially be a very high pick. But because the Jazz have a top 5 pick this year, their third year in a row of having one, their first round pick in 2027, which could be going to Memphis, will now not be in the top 5 under these new rules.
Right.
So, like, if I'm the Grizzlies, I'm saying, well, hold on a second. We made this trade, and we agreed to trade a pretty important player, assuming that this pick could be a top 5 pick. Yeah. And now, through no fault of their own, it's not going to be. Like, that is insane to me that this rule isn't, like, it's preventing the teams that currently own the pick from getting a high pick because it's just looking at, well, who originally owned it. Like, because it was the Jazz's pick, it counts against this rule, even if the Grizzlies are the ones who would own it. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I hate all of it. Either.
You would think those teams would be throwing a big fit right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Big time. Big time. If I'm Memphis, I'm livid right now. I'm livid at the idea that like we decided that Utah was going to be our trade partner. They probably have multiple suitors. We decided Utah specifically because not just the amount of picks, but the potential quality of those picks. And now you're saying that the quality is guaranteed to be outside the top 5 because Utah has been bad the last few years. Not Memphis, Utah. And the Grizzlies are the ones that have to pay for it. It makes no sense. That
sucks.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. I guess I just don't like. I mean, obviously they've been discussing this for a while, but like, why? I don't know. I guess I'm flabbergasted at why they would do this. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, and also now, and this is another good point. Like in this effort that the NBA has to incentivize winning, if you will. This system now, I think, gives teams that are in the play-in tournament incentive to lose in the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
Because let's say you're a team that's on the fringe right now. You know you don't have a chance to win a playoff series. You lose, and you have the same odds of winning the lottery as a team that was the worst team in the NBA that year.
Makes no sense.
Like you don't have a whatever percent chance that it was like, 1% or something ridiculous. Like, no, you're going to have a 5.4% chance. Like, yeah, you're going to have the same as the bad teams, like the really, really bad teams that won 20 games this year. Like if I'm that, I'm thinking I'd rather be that team with a chance to win the top pick than to get my ass kicked in the first round by a 60-win team. So they've like transferred the incentive to lose to different teams. They just jumbled it around and just made everything more random. And like, I don't think they actually ended up solving tanking whatsoever. Like,
it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I cannot stand it. It's such a disaster. It's really, really bad. All right, real quick hockey. It's just not just enough with the Knights. I should have probably prefaced this by saying the Colorado Avalanche unquestionably are the biggest gutless choking dogs of the month. Yeah. I think of the month for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be hard to top, right? I mean, it's going to be hard to top for the year, right? No?
Yeah, well, boy, Yannick Sinner today might be the gutless choking dog of the year with that upset. But, team sports-wise, like, I was trying to think back to some of the other hockey series. Like, do you remember a few years back where Tampa Bay had the best record in the league and then they got swept in the first round by Columbus? Like, that was an ultimate gutless choking dog performance. The Bruins, when they had a historic year as the President's Trophy team and they got swept by the Panthers. So, like, there is precedent for it. But what's insane to me is that this is a Vegas Golden Knights team that I've said before, lost more games than they won in the regular season. I just need to throw that out there. This is a sport where you can lose more games than you win. Not just make the playoffs, but win your division by doing so. Take advantage of playing your weak division in your first two rounds. And then face an Avs team that, well, I mean, there's no excuse for what Colorado did. I just like, it's beyond comprehension that Colorado was just that pathetic where the entire season they were by leaps and bounds the best team in the league. It's insane.
And I know they were banged up, obviously, but like not even winning a game without your I mean, like you couldn't muster any wins. And honestly, were they even all that competitive? Like, weren't they losing pretty much all four games?
Yeah, first game they got down and they tried to stage a comeback, couldn't do it. Second game I think was very similar. Like they were anemic, man. Like they didn't score. They, Vegas just and it's not like Vegas was like scoring all over the place. Like it was a very low scoring game, but like Colorado just had no answers for them. And Vegas has the recipe of they're a team that has a ton of high end like talent. Like their first couple lines are just insanely stacked. They're playing hot under a new coach, so they just clearly needed a new voice. And Carter Hart has been super hot in the playoffs. And like you have all of these factors together, and just everything is possible. And it's clear that they're a better team than their record indicated in the regular season. But like, man, if this was a normal year, like Vegas could have missed the playoffs. Like they lost more than they won. And here they are in the Stanley Cup final. And I'm not ruling out Montreal yet, even though at the second I said they are going to win the series, they lost the next three games. So I was a little bit early on my proclamation there with the Habs. But are you taking Vegas regardless in the Cup? Where are you at?
I don't think so. I think Carolina is just much better than they are. I think Carolina wins it. We'll get to best bets here in a bit. That's going to be my pick. But I think Carolina wins that series easily here. And then I'll still go Carolina. I know the Vegas Knights are so on fire right now. But, like, really, where's this coming from? I know you said new coach, things like that. But I'm taking Carolina in the Stanley Cup Finals. But I also took Colorado, and that didn't work. So, but I'm sticking with Carolina.
How can Vegas have like it seems like they have 9 guys that are all like all-star players. Like it's like how can they have Jack Eichel and Mitch Marner and like all of these like huge name players that are all together? It's like how do we let this happen as a league?
Right.
How do we let Vegas do this? I don't get it. All right, on to lighter news. Major League Baseball labor negotiations. Did you see this today, Rodney?
I saw a little bit of it, yeah. But again, explain to me.
All right, so if I memory serves me right here, yesterday was the Players Association sharing their first sort of like their first attempt at a deal starting for next season here. So let me pull up the official sort of stats here. So the MLBPA is looking for first of all, they're okay with the salary floor.
Yeah.
They've set the floor at 150 million. And if you don't reach the 150 million, there's a competitive integrity tax for any team. So you have to pay a tax unless you get to the 150 million. So you either have to spend more money or you spend more money. Minimum salaries, in addition, would increase from 780,000 to 1.5 million. So basically double. And then the base tax threshold would go from 244 million to 300 million. So increasing the amount. So because basically like they want teams that are in the 200s right now that are sort of flirting with the luxury tax now to feel comfortable spending more money. So they raise the tax. So that's where the players came in. Today was the league response, the owner's response. So here's the good news, Rodney. The owners are like, yeah, cool. We're good with the salary floor. And they set the salary floor at 171 million. So it's actually 20 million more than what the players suggested. However, for the first time in a little over 30 years, they also have brought up a salary cap, which includes player benefits with a ceiling at $245 million. So floor of 171, cap of 245. Revenue sharing would go officially 50-50 split. A big thing that MLB wants to do is to have like everything media centralized, get rid of lockouts. Like everyone shares the revenue equally, which is not the case right now when you look at some of the big TV deals that the Dodgers have and whoever. So assuming that those are the numbers, let's just say the Players Association, which isn't happening, by the way, but let's say the players were like, deal, love it. Currently, based on this year's payrolls, 12 teams would have to increase their spending. 8 teams would have to shed their payroll. So 2/3 of the league would have to significantly alter their payroll to meet these new requirements. Cardinals, by the way, were one of the teams. I think Cardinals are sitting right now at about 90 million. So the Cardinals next year would have to add $80 million in payroll in order to hit the floor of 171.
That's crazy.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And, a team like the Dodgers would have to cut like, I don't know, 120 million, something around there. It's a lot. My guess is if in the universe that this ever happened, like this would have to be slowly implemented. Like, I don't think you can ever get all the teams and the players to agree like, oh, this is going to go into effect immediately. All teams must either shed or add tens of millions of dollars. Like, I think it has to be a gradual process regardless. But the player response today to the owners was very, very much, yeah, a cap is not happening. Like the floor, like we're aligned on the floor, but that's it. Like, and I think that you are only going to see things get uglier as we go on. So what are your initial thoughts here? Just hearing both sides of the coin here, the first proposals from each side, like what's your first gut reaction?
Well, I mean, the label says it best. We're coming to a lockout, right? Like, it seems like the numbers are. I mean, like you putting in the factor that you told me the Cardinals would need to add 80 million, almost double their salary. That's not happening.
Yeah,
that's not happening. That's not happening. The Dodgers aren't going to be like, yeah, we'll just shed 120, right? Like that's not happening. So, unfortunately, yes, the lockout. I don't know. Like, and here's what I can't stand about this. They're probably not going to meet again for like another 3 months, right?
Yeah, probably not. Or we're not. This
That's
is
what drives me
such an
crazy.
awful proposal. Like we're not even going to waste our time with this until August. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're going to be like, okay, so now we're going to start negotiating what we talked about in May, in August, and they get nowhere. Like, honestly, and I say that for like our government. Like when there's a government lockout, they should be there every single day. Like you shouldn't be taking the time off. These guys talking about lockouts should be meeting, whatever they're, couple days a week until you get it solved.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting that the owners increased the floor. Like they're fine with an even higher floor. But I think that's sort of the leverage to be like, hey, because like the players' biggest complaint is teams that are, it's like the players, I think ultimately like seeing the Dodgers and the Mets spend money a lot more than what's happening with the teams like the Marlins and the Guardians and like whoever else, like all the teams who basically don't spend anything.
Right.
So I think the owners here are like, hey, we'll give you a floor. We'll like, because I think that's more pressing to you. Like that's more important to you guys. But then they're going to try to get their cap at the same time. I mean, like generally speaking, do you think baseball fans want a cap? Like I think I'm ready for some type of cap to be put in place. If I'm being 100% honest with myself.
Probably. But I mean, yeah, I think a good majority of baseball fans probably do wish there was a cap. Yes.
Yeah, and like the other component of this too, and the reason why I'm hoping there is like with a higher floor and a cap place, like I don't know, like I feel like this is ultimately going to benefit more overall players, like the ones that make 60 million, 70 million a year, like Kyle Tucker with his 60 million a year, whatever it is deal, like, yeah, you're not going to see that anymore. So it's going to hurt those guys. But like, there's 26 guys on an active roster. Like, aside from the top 2 or 3 on a team, like you got 23 other guys that are, I think like this is going to benefit ultimately with this. Cause like teams are going to be allocating. It's like, okay, we only have this amount of money to spend. Well, like we need to address multiple spots, or like, hey, we need to hit this part of the floor. We need to spend, like, we need to extend guys. We need to make deals. We need to increase our payroll here. Like, I think it's ultimately going to help more players as opposed to just like the stars.
Right.
And I think that's what the Players Association needs to think about too.
Yeah, no, it's that guys are going to get paid more than they should. Yeah. These middle guys are going to get paid more. That is definitely going to happen.
Yeah. So I got the official number here. So yeah, so based according to Spotrac, yeah, the Cardinals are $76 million below the proposed salary floor. So yeah, like the Cardinals, let's say this got implemented and it started next year, the Cardinals would have to find a way to increase their payroll by $76 million. Yeah. Hello, fat extension for Jordan Walker. Hello, like that's like,
yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of people assume it's like, oh, these teams, then they're going to just blow their money on a bunch of free agents and overpay them. Like, no, they can also extend guys who like, and that's been a huge issue before where you as teams, like they have these great young players, they develop them, they're good for a few years, but then their fans know like, oh, great, we're going to have to trade them because we're not going to be able to pay them free agency. But like now you have to almost work out these extensions with your young talented players just to make sure that your salary is $170 million. Like that's a good thing. Fans love that. And like you don't have to blow it on crap free agents. Like re-sign your young guys. Every single team in baseball has young guys that are worth extending and building a core around. All 30 teams have these guys, but only every few of them actually extend.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but I think your line here comes the lockout is what I see most out of the news today. Hopefully they do meet soon and they kind of keep coming again because nobody wants a lockout. Like, come on, we don't want no baseball. Come on.
No. In other news, Aaron Ashby's now 9-0.
Yeah.
It's
And I called this. I told you guys when it was going to happen. It was 1-0 Cardinals. Dustin May was cruising along with a no-hitter. He had a no-hitter through 7. They put Aaron Ashby in. He goes scoreless in the first inning. He comes back out for a second inning, and that's when I knew it was happening. I was like, okay, he got out of the 8th, no runs. Brewers find a way to scrap across 2 runs in the 8th, slam the door in the 9th, and Aaron Ashby's 9-0. Like, what is going on here? Like, Aaron Ashby's a good pitcher, but 9-0? Like, at what point and I know wins, loss, like, we don't care about wins as much as we used to, but, like, what if he goes 18-0?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if this was like 1982, Aaron Ashby would be the runaway Cy Young winner just because of his
18-0 with a 2.5 ERA.
Yeah, but is ERA even that low? Because like I was looking at his numbers and like his WHIP is like 1.4. Like it's not like he is unhittable too. This isn't Mason Miller we're talking about. He's good, and honestly, like watching him, I'm like he has really nasty stuff, but he's not. I don't think he's an all-star even, but he's 9-0 as a reliever. It's the most absurd baseball stat easily right now.
Yeah, 2.06 ERA. Yeah, 1.29 WHIP, 49 strikeouts, and 35 innings. So he's striking guys out. Every Brewers pitcher seems to be striking guys out. And we don't have time to talk Jacob Mizorowski, but he's good. Well, maybe Tuesday we can talk about Jacob Mizorowski. But yeah, Aaron Ashby, 25 games and he's 9-0. I mean, obviously don't like the Brewers. I don't want him to win anymore or the Brewers ever win again, but I kind of hope he goes 18-0.
Just to see what the media does with a record like that.
Yeah.
And like as a reliever. Yeah, I would like to see. The Brewers, again, I think we definitely and by we I mean you buried them far too soon.
Yeah. And they're red hot right now. They're beating everybody. They've now raised their division lead to 4 games over the Cubs, 4.5 over the Cardinals. And Cardinals-Cubs this weekend. We're running out of time on things to talk about. But it's Cardinals-Cubs weekend. Cubs have won back-to-back games. Look out for those Cubbies. It would be something if the Cubs won 10 in a row again. Would that be something? Like
it would be expected. Yeah, like that. Sure. Their whole team is just streaks. It's just we're gonna win a bunch of games in a row, and then we're gonna lose a bunch of games in a row, and it's all gonna even out. But like they're just such a wildly inconsistent team, and probably the most inconsistent team in all of baseball. If I had to, if we're being honest about it.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. All right, let's recap best bets for betting. We didn't do this on Tuesday, but Rodney had a chance to make up some ground. And he failed. He was all over the Thunder in game 3 of that series against the Spurs. However, he picked the Avalanche to win by 2 or more goals. They lost outright. He picked the Cubs to win. They lost outright. He picked the Dodgers to beat the Brewers. Lost outright. But he did get saved by a half point. The Fever beating the Valkyries by 8 points. So a 2-3 week for Rodney. Myself, on the other hand, this Cardinals one, by the way, so the Friday game was rained out, so we're taking the first Saturday game of the doubleheader. The Cardinals did win that one comfortably, so that's a win for me. The Rays defeated the Yankees in Garrett Cole's debut. By the way, Garrett Cole, 2 starts, over 12 innings, still is not allowed to run. Welcome back, Garrett Cole. The Marlins defeated the Mets on Friday night, but the playoffs were not kind to me. The Spurs lost. The Golden Knights and Avalanche did not come anywhere close to the 7 goals I needed. So that being said, I went 3-2. You went 2-3. That brings you to 80 and 90. Horrible record. I am 86 and 84. So now I have a 6-game lead in the Bees for Bees. And I got to say, man, you need to start making up ground fast.
All right, here we go. Hurricanes -1.5 tomorrow. +110. Hurricanes win easily. Padres beat the Nationals tomorrow. Marlins with Max Meyer 5-0 beat the Mets. Brewers over the Astros because why not? Brewers always win. And Dodgers over the Phillies because it's It's the Dodgers. I don't even have to give an explanation. I'm 80-90. Nobody cares about my explanation anyway. That is my best bets for betting for May 29th. All Friday games. No NBA. There's some WNBA, but I'm not going to go.
I mean, do we have Game 7? I mean, Game 7 will be Saturday. Who are you going to take, OKC or San Antonio? We don't have a line yet, I don't think.
No, I don't think we have a line either.
OKC, by the way, will not win today. San Antonio is up 110-84. So a 26-point lead for San Antonio with 4.5 minutes remaining. Empty the benches. This one's done. SGA was 6 of 18 from the field. Let's see for the Spurs. Wembanyama, 28 points, only 10 boards, but he's good. He's a good player. How about this? How about the Spurs absolutely taking it to OKC with De'Aaron Fox only having 5 points on 1 of 9 shooting?
That's pretty wild. And again, you mentioned it earlier, just the young, composed San Antonio team was not fazed by having their backs to the wall. And Game 7 is going to be fun. Game 7 will be fun.
They've come a long way from Keldon Johnson being their best player, who's now their like 7th or 8th man in the rotation. So,
no doubt.
Game 7 on Saturday. That'll be a fun one in OKC. Will the crowd be wearing blue shirts, white shirts, or a combination of blue and white shirts? That's the question.
I think it'll be a white out.
Think white out. I'm going to say blue. I'm going to say blue. I'm going to say they all go blue. I think blue. Yeah.
Can we add?
All right.
Can we add that as one of our? Can we add that to our best bets for betting and have an extra? We got 6 this time. I've got white. You've got blue.
We won't mark it, but we'll remember it internally. And if it comes down to that, that'll be the tiebreaker. All right. My B's for B's.
Every chance I get.
Yeah. No, you do. You do. Well, you know what? If it's blue, I'll decide to count it. All right. The Canadians, unlike what Rodney said, the Canadians will stay alive. They will go to Carolina. They will win to force a Game 6. I don't think the Habs are cooked just yet, so I'm going to take them as dogs. The Rays are 1.5 or our favorites hosting the Angels. I'm taking Tampa in that one on the run line. I'm going with the Cubs. They've won 2 in a row. They're a streaky team. I like what I'm seeing right now in the last 2 games, so I'm going to take them in St. Louis on Friday. The Giants, I'm going to take as a road favorite on the run line against Colorado. And then I'm with you, too. I'm going with the Dodgers money line against the Phillies as well. So that's it for best bets for betting. And now let's remember someone. And hey, Rodney.
I have not looked ahead, so I'm really excited for this one.
Remember Jake Peavy?
Yeah. So claim to fame, Jake Peavy has hunting ground here in the Central Illinois area.
Really?
Yeah. So there's a band of them back in the day. Mark Clark played probably before your time. He's from the area. Even Jim Thome has kind of met up with them at times. There's a group of guys that have hunting ground, and Jake Peavy is one of them. So he has been in my vicinity before.
Okay, so you were very familiar with Jake Peavy. Obviously, you remember him, and honestly, anyone our age should remember Jake Peavy. He's also on TV. He's analyst for MLB Network, so you see him if you have cable. But from Mobile, Alabama, was brought in with the San Diego Padres. People probably remember him most for his time with the Padres. He was there 2002 through the middle of the 2009 season. He was a Cy Young winner in 2007 after recording the pitching Triple Crown. Do you remember him most with the Padres, or do you remember him more with the White Sox?
No, definitely Padres. Coming up. His strikeout guy at that time, I'm looking at he had 2,200 career strikeouts. I don't remember a lot of his final part of his career, Boston, San Francisco. I definitely – and that's where he won his World Series. He won in Boston. He won in San Francisco. I remember him as really kind of the Padres ace coming up.
Yeah, I was going to just mention that with Jake Peavy. So, and it's funny. I did a double take when I was looking at his baseball reference page today, and I said, wait a minute, he won 2 World Series? It's like, with who? Because, I don't associate him at all with either of those teams. But 2013, he was a deadline deal for the Boston Red Sox. So he was a midseason acquisition. And then 2014, he's traded from Boston to San Francisco. So 2 straight World Series with 2 different teams, both as like a mid-season acquisition. He was just the second starting pitcher after Don Gullett to win 2 consecutive World Series championships with different teams, one in each league. And one of 10 players in Major League history to have won back-to-back championships on different teams. Ben Zobrist, one of those guys, when he did it with the Royals and then the Cubs.
Yeah.
So a little interesting. And like two teams that I would not think of with Jake Peavy. I associate him with the Padres and a little bit with the White Sox.
Yeah. So NL wins, we talked about wins a little bit ago. NL wins leader in 2007, 3-time All-Star, Golden Glove. So he can play a little defense as well. And he's in the Padres Hall of Fame. So yes, a lot of Jake Peavy. I remember Jake Peavy well. This is a good one. He's I always thought, I thought of him as a really good pitcher. Probably goes down as like the Hall of pretty good, right?
It's funny. I would say Hall of very good.
Okay.
Good. Long career, multiple-time All-Star, a couple World Series champs. Had 2,200 strikeouts in his career. That's quite a bit. What's interesting though is that 2007, that was a Cy Young year, but that was the only year that he was ever like getting any votes for Cy Young. Like he was never top 5 or top 10 like any other year. It was just one year, 2007, and that includes some really good years. Like 2005, he was an all-star, had a sub-3 ERA, led the league in strikeouts, and was not at all up for Cy Young consideration. So
yeah,
definitely, I think hurt by being on some pretty below-average San Diego teams in the 2000s that just like never went anywhere. Just didn't get a lot of national recognition, but I think National League baseball fans such as yourself certainly remember Jake Peavy well, and very good pitcher. Not a Hall of Famer, but a Hall of I'm going to say Hall of very good. Like long career, Cy Young. You got triple crown in your Cy Young year. You won a couple ERA titles. Like that's a very solid career that went all the way until 2016.
Yeah. So one thing I remember about Jake Peavy and like since his day, like everybody throws hard. So like the hard throwers aren't really that. But like I remember him back in the day as like one of the model faces, or maybe I was wrong on this, that like Jake Peavy was like a really hard thrower in that day and age. I'd have to really like break down, what his fastball was and if he really was, but something sticks with me that Jake Peavy was a hard throwing right-handed pitcher. Maybe not, but that's just one of those, like when you're growing up watching, like you have a something in mind on it. It jumps to mind him instantly. Jake Peavy throws hard. Maybe I'm wrong.
Do you want to hear a sign of the times change in here? So this is after 2004. So 2004, I mentioned he led Major League Baseball with a 2.27 ERA. He was the youngest pitcher to win the ERA title since Dwight Gooden back in 1985. 173 strikeouts, really just like became the young ace of the Padres. That offseason, he signed an extension with San Diego for a whopping 4 years, $14.5 million.
$14.5 million. They laugh at that
4
now.
Years. 4 years. That's again, math is not my specialty here. That's like $3.5 million a year.
Yeah. Everyday starter, just like fifth starters get that now.
Fifth starters are getting like $11 million a year. Like that's crazy. Rodney? What is Miles Mikolas making from the Washington Nationals this year?
Oh, that's a great question. Let me pull that up before we log off tonight. Miles Mikolas.
Okay, so Miles Mikolas got 1 year, $2,250,000. So like, so Jake Peavy got like $1.5 million more than that after winning the ERA title and establishing himself as one of the best young pitchers in baseball.
And actually, that number for Miles Mikolas is surprisingly low for me, just because I thought he probably got more being a veteran and having a year or two of good season. But that is crazy. That was the times to change it.
Yes. Now he did get an extension after he won the Cy Young 4 years, $52 million. At the time, the largest contract in Padres history. 4 years, $52. I'm pretty sure they paid Manny Machado $300 million about a decade after that or so. So, again,
crazy money.
Quite a bit in baseball. All right, let's get out of here. Shout out to the Spurs forcing a Game 7. That'll be on Saturday. Lots of good sports this weekend between the NBA, between the NHL. Next week, we're going to be talking Stanley Cup Final, NBA Finals, more baseball. Lot to get to, and we're excited. But thanks to everyone who hung out with us tonight. Couple notes. Make sure to follow us at Stupid Sports Show on Twitter. And you've probably noticed there's a QR code in the corner of your screen. That takes you to Rodney's Substack, where even though his record on this show is not all that good, I promise on Substack it is much better. He's giving you free picks daily right to your inbox. So go sign up, get those emails, and win some cash with the Rod Dog.
Yes, need to be better than I have been in May, but still through 5 months I'm ahead. So that's the point. If you followed it, and if you followed it since the beginning, you're way up. So yes, follow on Substack on that little code up there. And next time we're back is Tuesday.
Tuesday, where we will have an NBA final to discuss, potentially a Stanley Cup final to discuss, assuming that we don't go 7 games with this Carolina series. So don't sleep on Montreal. I'm not giving up hope yet. Not giving up hope. You never had hope. You didn't think they would win a game. So,
and then they won one.
Then they won one. I proclaimed them series winners, and then they haven't won since. So we're both just on fire. All right, let's get out of here. He is the legendary Rodney Newpol. I am Tim Booger Van Stratton, and this has been another edition of the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth. See you guys.
See ya.
Step right up, dummies, and listen to the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth with Rodney Newpol and Tim Van Stratton.